Are you really in good hands? Do you know a good neighbor? Is there even a good neighbor? Who's really on your side? Today, we're going to talk about insurance companies, insurance adjusters, when and if at all you should ever talk to them. Good morning and happy Monday. It's your accident and injury guy right here in my Elkton office. It's Jobeth Bowers. Come to talk to you about insurance companies, insurance adjusters, how to navigate all of this stuff. Because if you were recently in an auto accident, your phone's ringing off the hook and you're probably just ready to throw your arms up in the air. You've got phone calls coming in left and right. You're hurt. The hospital's calling you about billing information. You've got a stack of referrals for orthopedic doctors, for physical therapists, insurance companies, from yours, from theirs. Maybe there's multiple vehicles involved in this accident. What do you do? How do you navigate it? Who do you talk to and why? Well, here's the thing. You got to understand that you shouldn't talk to these people at all, even your own insurance company, because when you've got the ability to hire a law firm, an attorney like us here at Bowers Law to handle this for you, it gets to the point where you're then dealing with just two things: your medical care, not even the billing, because we navigate the billing for the medical care. You just have to show up to the appointments and work on getting better. And then all of the insurance company calls also come through us. But what I want to talk about today isn't necessarily just the fact that we make all of that a lot easier for you. It's about who's really on your side. These insurance companies have all of these catchy slogans. You've heard them before. You're in good hands. Like a good neighbor. We're on your side. Hundreds more. These are just the ones that we hear probably the most here in Elkton. These are designed to build trust and have you let your guard down, even with, and especially when that good neighbor is insuring the person who caused your accident. They want you to think, even though they are adversarial to you, that they're not. That you are in good hands, even though they're the company representing the person who caused your accident, who caused your injury. Why do they do it? Well, it's really, really simple, and it all just comes down to profit and loss. The business model of all of these insurance companies is to collect premiums. Recently, that business model seems like it's been to raise premiums. In fact, most insurance companies, auto insurers, home insurers, whatever it might be, have raised their rates over the past 5 years as much as 50%. You're feeling it. I'm feeling it. And you're probably watching this as a good driver. So step one is collect the money. Step two, keep the money. The best way to keep that money in their investments, in their bank account, in their investment portfolio, wherever it might be, is to pay you as little as possible on these claims. So how do they do it? Well, they've got this round of adjusters that are handling claims for folks that don't have lawyers. And these people, for the most part, are very, very nice. They are trained to become buddy-buddy with you. They want you to think that they are your good neighbor. But if you really think about it, you probably don't have neighbors that you really, really love. Not all of them. So what is a good neighbor? It's kind of a misnomer. I'm not saying all your neighbors are bad. I am saying that most insurance companies are, because their bottom line succeeds by paying you as little as possible. There's absolutely no reason to talk to these folks, because in the end, they're looking at this. It's all a numbers game. You are just a number to these insurance companies. They look at it and they say, hey, we're going to have 1 million claims this year. If we can save $1,000 per claim on average, that's a number that just breaks the calculator. It breaks the calculator. It's not an amount of money that you or I could really fathom. It's that Scrooge McDuck pool of money. It's more money than you know what to do with, and that's their goal. Save just $1,000 per claim. And of course, when there are situations that they can really take advantage of somebody, and I'll give you some examples. Years ago, this is probably the biggest example of it. Years ago, we had a client who had an insurance company offer them, before we were involved, somewhere around $900 to resolve that claim. In the end, we settled that claim for the limits of the insurance policy, $100,000. Boy, oh boy, the bean counters in the back room of that insurance company were not happy to see our name come across the board. They lost $99,000 because that client wised up and hired our office. That's just one story. This stuff happens all the time, not always on that grand of a scale. But we recently had a client who had asked the insurance company, this was maybe 2 years ago, the client had asked the insurance company to settle their case for $20,000. The insurance company said no. They hired us. Now, this was after a year and a half of medical care, and I never recommend that you wait that long to hire us. In fact, hire us day one. We will help you navigate this entire process. This was a claim that we ended up having to file suit in, and we settled this case for $375,000. The insurance company could have said yes to the $20,000 request from that client. They decided to say no, and it cost them $355,000. This is a big deal. And that's the one that really they should have done it. This stuff happens all the time. And what we normally see, full disclosure, because each and every one of these cases is totally different. The results we get for one client do not necessarily indicate the results that we're going to get for you if you hire us after being injured in an accident. A lot of times what we see these insurance companies getting out there offering $1,000, sometimes $1,200 for these cases. And then in the end, we end up settling these things for $18,000, $20,000, $25,000. Not as big of a jump as $1,000 to $100,000. But still, when it comes to what you're owed, what you've gone through, and what that insurance company really should be paying you, it's a big difference. All the time, we have cases where, even with us involved, the insurance company offers a little bit of money compared to what we think it's worth. We file the lawsuit. We go to trial. A couple months ago, we had a case where the insurance company wouldn't even make us an offer. Our client had multiple surgeries. We filed a lawsuit. Through the course of that pre-trial process, the most money the insurance company ever offered us was about $80,000 for our client. Seems like a lot of money, but 2 weeks before trial, it was a case that we settled for $1 million, the limit of the insurance policy. So having an attorney that actually knows what they're doing, who will file suit, who will push the issue, makes all the difference in the world. Years ago, even longer ago, we had a case where the insurance company never offered us more than $45,000. Case resolved. It actually went to trial, got a verdict, $270,000. Another one, the biggest at trial jump between the offer, which we had, of $10,000. The most money they were going to pay our client, $10,000. Jury verdict, $568,000. That's probably the biggest jump. You know, we've had bigger cases, but they were also ones where the insurance company was offering more money somewhere through the process. This stuff happens all the time. And what they want is for you to be lulled into this sense of, they're going to take care of me. They're going to offer me this money. They're going to pay out on all of my medicals. And quite frankly, it's not going to happen. It's not their business model. The thing I hate hearing the most is when a client comes to me and says, the insurance company offered me X and they told me that they would pay medical bills for the next 3 years. It's a lie. It's an absolute lie. When you sign that release of claims, it says I'm taking X amount of dollars and this claim is closed. Those medicals are not open, not for days, not for weeks, not for months, and especially not for years. So I'm going to get off my soapbox here, although that is the purpose of this podcast, is to inform, to educate, to let you know about things that may go against you when it comes to these auto accidents. As always, if you have a question that you want to see here on the podcast, if it's accident related, I should probably get to it very, very quickly. If it is outside of that auto accident and injury realm, I'm going to bring somebody on who knows what they're doing. Shoot me that email, info@bowerslawmd.com. We've really come a long way. If you go back and watch the early episodes, I had no idea where I was pointing or where things are. And now, boom, I've got it almost every time. And if you need us, if you've been in an accident, boom, there's the number, 885-6200. Call our office. We're here to help you, to guide you through this process. If you want to look back through those old podcast episodes when I had no idea what I was doing, not to say that I really know what I'm doing now, but go to my website, bowerslawmd.com. Look right up there at the top where it says podcast. You can go through, see old episodes. You can even search for them. So if there's a specific topic, and again, if that topic's not there, shoot me that email right up top, info@bowerslawmd.com. Make sure you mention that you want it talked about on the podcast. That way I know to talk about it on the podcast. Otherwise, I'm just going to answer your question and we're going to move on. So that's all I got for this week. Be well, be safe out there. See you next week. Same time, same location.